I was actually going to talk about NFTs and how it's correlated to watch collecting. But then gringa happened. So we're going to talk about it in a different angle. We're going to show you why NFTs may actually be good for watch collecting and collecting in general. Let's start from the root of all the hype, cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin. Bitcoin was intentionally created to be a digital coin that's authenticated by the traders of the currency. While traditional online transactions are authenticated and verified by one source, the bank itself, Bitcoin is authenticated by the rest of the people who have Bitcoin. It's fast, unregulated, and if someone wanted to fake a transaction, he'll have to fake everyone's record of that transaction. With that in mind, what's a non-fungible token or NFT? To authenticate anything on the blockchain, unique data is stored by every user. This concept is used by NFTs to generate a unique serial number for a particular NFT item. So, this particular image may be replicated easily by taking a photo of it or even recreate a downright one-for-one exact copy of the file. But only the original has this unique serial number. Think of it as a certificate of ownership which can be applied to anything from an image, video clip, and yes, even tweets. Now that we have a basic idea of what NFTs are, here are some of the bad things about collecting NFTs. As mentioned earlier, Watch Gringa made a comprehensive video about NFTs. Check her video out whenever you have the time. At the heart of NFT collecting is not just the unique serialization of items, it's also the ability to generate rarity. Of course, with rarity comes its own baggage, such as manufactured value and the dreaded speculation. So take for example this video clip of LeBron James dunking. It can be multiple times more valuable than the very same copy of the clip just because it has a lower serial number. This is something very familiar to us watch collectors, with the Tiffany Nautilus still very fresh in our minds. But here's where NFTs will make us cringe, laugh, and stay away from it like a bona fide restraining order. Most NFTs are also non-physical things. Unlike watches that you can wear, touch, and bring everywhere, most NFTs are relegated at your home gallery or your mobile device. This not only shrinks the audience for your collection, but it also leaves a sense of disappointment. You cannot touch or wear your NFTs. Well, at least not yet. Watch collecting is a small niche, make no mistake about it. But even those who are outside the niche could still appreciate a good watch on your wrist, even if they don't know it's actually one of 50 in the world. Another thing that makes NFTs downright scary right now is its hype nature. This reminds me of the speculative bubble of the comic book industry back in the 90s, when comic book companies found that people are willing to collect rare and special variants of hyped books. They produced more and more of these variants regardless of the quality of the story and art within it. Later in the decade, people started to wise up and saw that the stories and quality does not justify the values these books are demanding, and soon later, the demand started to dry up. Once the speculative bubble burst, values plummeted and the industry virtually crashed overnight, leaving hundreds of thousands of unsold inventory and forcing many bookstores to close down. NFTs currently has many of the traits of a speculative bubble. Once the bubble bursts, what will you do with your low serial number Patrick Beverly fadeaway? Consider this also. Once the blockchain goes down, all transactions and the whole market goes down with it. These trading sites and galleries are not infallible. In fact, there has been a number of cryptocurrencies that have died and proven to be an outright scam like BitConnect. This is another advantage of watch collecting because even if Chrono 24 or Watchbox somehow manages to vanish tomorrow, you would still be able to sell your Omega Speedmaster. Alas, with NFTs being labeled as a hype machine or speculative, it influences people's perception about other forms of collecting such as stamps, cars, and yes, watches. it adds some stigma of unreasonableness. I've been there before. I once thought I couldn't spend more than a few $100s on a watch. How much more of a JPEG image of a monkey with golden teeth? So if NFTs are that bad, so why can we say that it may actually be good for watch collecting? Here are some reasons. This same NFT ape that we just deemed unreasonable is actually art. It seems rudimentary and probably very easy to make for some decent artists out there, but it still has personality, intricacies of stroke, line design, and color direction. Yes, it's not physical, but there is much to appreciate about it. These same virtues are what we use all the time with our selection and observation of watches. A watch is deemed good looking because it has the pleasing curves, sharp details, and yes, personality. Watches and art evokes an emotion within us, compelling us to own them, collect more than one of them, and wear them. NFTs are able to actually bring these sensibilities in the mainstream consciousness in a matter of months. This is something that the watch industry has been working hard to do for years in comparison. Some got into watches because they started on knives or cars, and it's also the same for the other way around. This could happen too with NFTs. Recently, Houdinki featured this artist that's making NFT watches, with some pitching for almost the same money as the real thing. So, don't be surprised if new collectors entered in the watch collecting world because of NFTs. Remember, even the Apple Watch influenced many people to enter the watch collecting hobby, even though many viewed the Apple Watch as the foil to the very same hobby. At a more practical sense, NFT technology can be useful for actual authentication and security. Watch nuts like us know that boxes and papers hold some kind of value, but they're really for verifying the authenticity of the watch. With NFT technology, a watch can be more efficiently tracked even after changing hands numerous times. As an example, a couple tried to defraud people of their cryptocurrency by hacking the trading network. After around 6 years of lying dormant, the couple finally got tired of sitting on over $4.5 billion of Bitcoin and tried to move it to a different wallet. The community who's keeping track of this original wallet quickly saw what's happening, alerted the authorities, and managed to arrest the criminals before laundering this massive amount of Bitcoin. This is all because of the traceable nature of cryptocurrency. Imagine your watches utilizing this same technology. Breitling has already begun using blockchain technology to securely authenticate and facilitate the trade of their watches. This is just one example of how this technology can improve our watch collecting experience. There is a future out there where you can look up the actual proof of ownership of a watch that you've been lusting to buy and verify that Mr. John Doe actually owns it at the moment. Looking back at NFTs, I had a discussion with a former watch dealer and he could clearly see that NFTs are art, but not in the conventional way. Much like watches are in many ways art for men of the ages 30 and up on average, NFTs appeal to a younger audience like shoes and, well, Pokemon. No matter what age these new blood may be, they are new blood nonetheless in this beloved hobby. So it's really the perspective that makes NFTs collectible. But under the collector's lens, we actually find out what kind of a person we are. Are we the person who values reasoning? Or are we a person who reasons are dictated by value? And that is the lesson that NFTs is teaching a lot of people right now that most watch collectors already know. If you want another video about watch collecting and how typography and design can affect its value, watch this video right here.